Hey guys, welcome to another profile. I've changed the angle slightly so it's a bit closer. Yeah, it's a bit more weird angled, but to be fair, it's probably better for you guys anyway because you can see what I'm doing better. Now we're talking about the Exodia deck profile. That is a deck I've recently built, and to be fair, I'm still building to some extent. I'm not proxying anything, but the deck list is very subject to change. For example, I would put a summon limit in here for definite. But for now, let's start off. We have obviously every Exodia piece. Be a bit stupid to run, not that. And then after that, you'd want to run the legendary Exodia Incarnate. Reason being is it's searchable off of Sangan. It's usable in the sense of if you have an Exodia piece in the hand, you can summon it, and then bring that Exodia piece back to your hand. If it gets destroyed, it's just more draw power, and also if you use the obliterate part of the deck, which I'm using, it means you can send Exodia pieces to the grave and add them straight back with Incarnate. It's kind of like what you want to do. And then talking of Sangan, want to run 3. Reason being is it can search off Incarnate, and if you're like 1 or 2 pieces off Exodia himself, then you could probably search off the pieces. He's just useful in that way. In fact, he can search anything in my deck, monster-wise, so he's very useful. You want to run 3 Aromadra? The reason for that one is because it's indestructible, it's a stall card, and also you gain life points when it's indestructible as well. So you're kind of, keeping yourself alive while also gaining back those life points that you would have lost earlier on, or just so you can make sure you're definitely alive. What you also want to do is run 3 Swift Scarecrow, because again, it's a stall card. It'll stop your opponent from, just beating you immediately. So if they attack you directly, you discard it and just end the entire battle phase, basically. It's a very good card in that sense. And in a similar fashion, 2 Battle Fader. I would also run a third one on those, but I personally don't have a third one. The reason I would run Battle Fader is the sheer fact of, if someone attacks you, you could just end the battle phase by summoning it in defense position. Simple as that. It's just a very good card to have to end the battle, if you want to end the battle. You also want to run a Marshmallow. Can't destroy a battle, 1000 damage. Can't go wrong. This is a card that I'm surprised no one runs, which is Prediction Princess Petalith. It's basically a Quaking Mirror Force but in flip monster form. It's very useful. Again, it's searchable off of Sangan. You can't go wrong. It's a very good card. And then for the final monster, we're running Card D. You summon it in attack position, draw 2 cards, that's the end of your turn. And because you're running Swift Scarecrow and Battle Fader, you can still technically do plays off of your draws. So, not too bad. You want to run 2 Dark Factories. I would maybe run a third, but to be fair, you only really need the 2. And that's if, say, you use the effect of Obliterate, send your normal Exodia pieces to the grave, but you have no way of adding them back to hand because you've lost all your Incarnates. And then you can just use Dark Factory to add those pieces back to still get the win. Also run 1 MST. Reason being is it can just pop generic back row. I would recommend running Twin Twisters more, but for what it is, Mystical Space Typhoon does its job. And I'd also run a Call by the Grave just for hand traps to stop your opponent from doing plays. Now that's now limited to 2 with the new ban list. And I did have it at 2, but I personally think it's kind of better at 1, especially since you can make more room for other stall cards. You want to run 3 Obliterate, the main piece of the deck. The main reason I built the deck, to be fair, because I just love the fact that you can send an Exodia piece and send something straight back to your opponent's hand. It kills their entire plays because you can use it whenever as well. So say they're trying to extra link you, you just send one of the links back. It's great. And then 3 Quaking Mirror Forces. Again, Petalith is that in monster form, but you want to also have it in trap form. Quaking is probably the best Mirror Force in my opinion. I know Drowning's quite good, but I prefer Quaking. Speaking of Drowning Mirror Force, you want to run a Drowning. Reason you're running 3 quaking and 1 drowning is because drowning is good and all, but quaking means that they can also no longer use those monster zones. Because obviously they've got a monster there, it's just face down and can't be face back up. And because there's only one link monster that I know of that lets you link someone from face down positions, it's a very it kills quite a lot of plays. So running 3 of that is very good. You also want to run 3 Fiendish Train. It's just to negate your opponent from attacking you, changing their battle position, or using their monster effects. It's another great stall card, and you can't go wrong. You really can't. 2 Dark Bribes, because you want to be able to negate some plays. And if they're drawing extra cards, that can be a pain, but usually you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Now this one's one that I've never seen anyone play in any deck. Spiritual Swords of Revealing Light. It's very good. You pay 1,000 to negate an attack. I know that sounds terrible, but mixed with Aroma Jar, gaining a load of life points back, plus also life points don't really matter to you in this deck. You're more trying to go for Exodia anyway. It's actually a very good card. And talking of not caring about your life points, Solemn Judgment at 1. You could run any of the other Solemn cards, but Judgment does everything just by halving your life points, which, to be fair, with Spiritual Swords and your opponent just constantly attacking and some attacks maybe getting through because you don't draw the right card, Solemn Judgment would be a better one because you can pay maybe like, I don't know, 1,000 and then negate anything you want. It's good. Very good card. Now, unlike most of my decks, this has no extra deck at all. That deck that I've just shown you is it. I would say if you're going to run stuff like Summon Limit, like I'm thinking of, maybe take out the MST, maybe take out one of the Mirror Forces, maybe take out Fiendish Chain, you know. Take out what you will at that point, but I feel like the main generic parts that you shouldn't ever get rid of is the Exodia pieces, the Incarnates, the Sangans, card D, Obliterate, and make sure there are some stall cards, so maybe at least 1 or 2 Swifts, 1 or 2 Battle Faders. You want to be able to stall at the same time, but you could play it differently. You could go into like Exodius, which would be very good in this deck. There's a lot you can do in this deck, so, you know, that part is up to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this profile. It's a shorter video, I know, but it's only because there's only a main deck, and to be fair, you're running 3 copies of quite a few things, so it makes it take less time to go through. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a fun deck. Give it a try. And I will see you guys later on. Enjoy.